Hello, hello. It worked for a change. I always worry that it's not going to go live when I push that go live button. So how is everybody? Hey, Margaret. Hey, Do. So if you don't already know, oh, isn't that funny? Did it enter? There it goes. Um, Free shipping for today, tomorrow, and the 11th. 72 hours with every $75 order is free shipping. So that's pretty exciting. Most of the DSP is back in stock. Oh, gotta grab my stamp set. I am working all week with the Cheerful Daisies. Let me just pull out my ink here. So I'm working with the Cheerful Daisies this week. I decided to focus. Hey, Kathy. Happy. I decided to focus on just one stamp set or bundle each week, and I'm going to create with that bundle for my Mystery Card Monday, my Thursday Night Live, and my Fun Fold Friday. This way you can see that you can use these stamp sets for more than just one set of cards that you see. All right. And I also used it for this week's newsletter card. Here's the inside. And what I did, you can see this in the back. I created my own designer series paper. And this is the card that is going to be on my newsletter this week. So if you do not subscribe and you'll get that PDF for free. All right, so let's start with what I wanted you to cut. So you already know I'm using Cheerful Daisies and I'm using Boho Blue. Again, I kept with the Boho Blue this week. I don't know. I just must have been feeling a bit blue when I started to make all my cards over the weekend. So our first piece, and let me just grab my ruler. I told you that I wanted you to get a piece of cardstock that is 11 by 5.5. All right. So I chose Boho Blue. Of course. And then you needed another piece of cardstock that measured 10 by 1 and it should be 1 1/8. I did 1 1/4. No, it's right, 1 1/4, because our designer series paper is 1 1/8. Okay. And then we needed a piece for die cuts if you wanted to put a die cut on the front of your card. And I said to do it 3.5 by 3.5. Then we needed another piece of the base color, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. We needed a basic white, 2.5 by 2.5. And this, I wanted you to do your sentiment. Then we needed a basic white 5 1/4 by 3.5. And then we needed a piece of designer series paper, 7.5 by 5 1/4. Okay. Well, let's just start with, I'm going to start with our card base, which is 11 by 5.5. Now this week we do need our trimmer, and not because I made a mistake, but because we need to score our piece of paper. And we are going to score on the 11-inch side, and we're going to score it at, 1 1/4. And then we're going to score it at 5 1/2. And then we're going to score it at 9 1/4. All right, so that is our piece. 1 1/4, 5 1/2, 9 1/4. So that's our scoring for our card base. Then we're going to take that 7 1/2 by 5 1/4 piece of designer series paper, and we're going to cut this up. And we're going to, we know it's 5 1/4. We're going to cut it at 1 1/2. And then we're going to cut it at 4. And then we should have a 2-inch piece, which we do, and we're going to cut it at 1. Okay? So that will give us, and I will go over it again, a piece that is 1 1/2 by 5 1/4, a piece that is 4 by 5 1/4, and then 2 pieces that are 1 by 5 1/4. Now this card would be great, or the designer series paper, if you're using a designer series paper that the back side is a nice color. Hi, Karen. Yes, I will put the extra directions in tomorrow. I do not really care for this side of the designer series paper. So we're going to stick with just the daisies. All right. So I'm going to just move that over. And when it comes to our card base, we are going to fold this piece up. Okay. So here is, this should be 4 1/4. Nope, it's 3 1/4. So this is going to go this way, because this piece should be our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, just had it turned the wrong way. So we're going to fold that up. We are going to fold. I folded this the wrong way. This is our card middle, okay, for the card base. So that's going to be folded that way. This piece is going to be folded to the front. Did I do that right? Let me just get my piece of paper. Hold on 1 second. I left my directions inside. I just want to make sure that I have it folded the right way. I probably don't. 2 seconds here. What did I do wrong? All right, that's right. Because it opens this way. And this goes like this. Isn't that right? Ah, it goes this way. Okay, so we do have it folded correctly. It just folds. Here's our middle line. The widest piece is to the right. The smallest piece is to the left. So when it closes, it's going to close with this flap here. All right, got myself a little confused there for a second. So when we open this up, this piece, nope, I'm going to do it this way. This piece is going to go on our inside, okay? Our little 1-inch pieces is going to go there. The wider piece is going to go here. And this piece is going to go here. But I am going to actually match up my daisy. I can't, but that's pretty close. All right. All right. So our 1 1/4 inch gets folded in a valley. Our 5 1/2 gets folded as a valley. And when I say valley, it's on the inside. Here's a mountain. All right. Just like that. So we're going to decorate it step by step. But first, this piece right here is going to be exposed. We will have a piece of designer series paper here. And we will have a piece of, I'm going to use this one, designer series paper here. So this piece is going to be exposed on the front of our card. So we are going to turn it over, and if you want, you can stamp something on the back of this piece. And I'm actually going to grab the largest daisy, and I actually have to clean it because I was using slate gray with it. And so let me just pull my cleaner out. So I hope everybody's doing well. So like I said, 72 hours of free shipping, which is awesome. Shipping always ends up being, pretty expensive. All right, so I'm going to take some Boho Blue, and I'm going to actually open this up. All right, so here's the front of our card. This layer, or this section right here, I am going to stamp some daisies on. I'm going to actually fold this. And then we have a little one right here, so let's get those small little flowers so we can at least fill in some of the space. I'm going to grab a spoon, though. I'm just going to pull some of this ink down so it's not so dark. I'm just going to fill in some of these holes. I'm going to actually fold this so I can get something right in here. All right. So that's that. Then I'm going to grab the center piece of the flower. Hey, Paula. And we're going to add the centers to these flowers. All right, so again, so you see why we did that? This is the front of the card. All right, we didn't want all that blank space. So now that that is stamped, we can now add our designer series paper. So we'll start with this flap here. That is the piece that we cut at 1.5 inches. So the 1.5 is going to go on this front flap here. So I'm going to use some glue, because since we started out so horribly, you know that there's another mistake coming. All right, so we're just adding some glue. This way, if I don't put it on straight or it needs to be moved, we have some wiggle room because we're using liquid glue. Okay. This piece, we need a 1-inch piece. And I'm going to add this here. I'm going to say it goes this way. Not that this paper is really directional, but I do remember there was more blue at the top. So ladies, have you seen or have you ever thought about becoming a demonstrator? You really don't need to do what I do. You can just take advantage of the discount. It's just like purchasing a Costco membership, because for the month of October, and I'm going to use this piece to try to line up this designer series paper. All right, I want this line here to be level or equal with each other. So for the month of October, our $99 kit, you get to choose two different options. You can either choose 35% off the $99 and get the $125 in product, which is $64.35 with 35% off. Or you can take advantage of the kit and spend the $99 and get $168.75 worth of product instead of $125. All right, here is the largest piece of designer series paper that we are now going to put on this side, the left-hand side of the card. And plus, with that, if you were computer literate, you really don't need to be computer. You can just take advantage of the discount, 20% off discount, which is awesome. Plus, not only are they giving you 35% more product or 35% off, you get a free registration to On Stage or On Stage at Home, which is a $77 value. I actually did pay for it. All right, so our basic white piece is going to go right here. But we may want to add something to this. Thanks, Karen. Hey, Kathy. Don't mind if you do. Okay, so we're going to put that aside for now, but that's going to go here. Now, let's work on this piece here. What this is our belly band, and we are going to wrap it around our card. We want to make sure it's straight, and then we're going to wrap it around so it's straight, okay? And then this way we can just pull it right off. So we are going to make sure it's straight. I'm going to add my glue to this end, being very careful not to use too much. And we're going to glue that down. And I'm just going to hold it for a few minutes just to make sure it adheres. Now, in the meantime, if you have something that you want to die cut from there, now would be a good time while I'm waiting for this to dry. I actually, where those little suckers go, I guess I didn't take anything out. All right, that should be dry now. All right, so there's my, it's still a little bit damp. All right, so I did not cut anything out because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And that is, oh yeah, it is. So let's see. I think I'll go with the smaller, and I'm going to actually, I think I'll use the Boho Blue. And I'm going to use the smaller of the daisies and stamp. I think I'll do 2. Oh, we're going to keep this out a second. So this is our piece. Like I said, this is the, which one is it? 3.5 by 3.5. And we are, I'm just going to stamp my daisies. And then when I run it through, here's my die. I'm also going to run it through with this sprig, if I can get it on here and fit it without it coming off. Yep, we should be able to. I should have thought about that. $32. Well, when I took Sheba out this morning, there was actually frost out, which I was very, very surprised because they did not call for frost. All right, I am going to run this through. Give me 1 second. Where is my other plate? All right, where'd my plate go? Oh, there it is. All right, so let me just run this through quick. I just don't want to hit this flower. So let me just run my flower through first. I want to do the sprig, but I don't want to hit my flowers. So let me just die cut these first. Nope, that's not it. There it is. There's one little petal that's a little squared off. And that's the one I use to guide me. All right, let me run this and then see if I can't run that sprig through. All right, here's my second flower. I don't know if I have enough room on here. We'll see. I don't. Grab it. I just should have watched the way I stamped on that piece. I would have had enough room if I would have stamped properly, but I didn't. All right, so I did my sprig on a larger piece. Now I want to get this out. It's easy. I don't want to rip it. The little pieces are so tiny. All right, let me just close this up and put my die in there because you know what happens. Things disappear right before my eyes. All right, so I'm just going to use this sprig. Here are my daisies. Okay, now here is our smaller square that I said 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. You can either put it on your band this way or this way. It's all up to you. Yeah, just if you don't use blue. Is it because you don't like blue, Kathy? All right, so I'm going to put it on as a square. So I'm just going to get this glued on here. Because you can definitely change out the paper and do it in colors that suit you. All right, so I'm just going to hold this here for a second. Hey, Fran. All right. So I think that's on there pretty good. Now this is the piece that's going to go on here. But first I am going to stamp a sentiment. And I'm going to do, here it is. I was going to say it's not here. Your friendship means everything. So I'm just going to pick up my stamp. I'm going to clean it first. Because like I said, Kathy, all my cards this week are blue. I must have had a blue Saturday when I was making my cards because I did my cards for the week. And I did blue for all of them. I guess I didn't have to think very much. And I styled them all completely different. So it's just been a blue kind of week. All right, so I am going to add my sentiment. I think I'll do it right about in the center. It is small. And then we can add out, actually what I'll do is, where are those little flowers? I know I stamped with them. Where did I put them? Oh, here they are. Let's grab these little flowers. And I'll use the Boho Blue again. But instead of stamping, I'll stamp off. And I'll put some here. I'll put some here. And I just put my thumb in the ink pad. And then we'll add our daisies. So I think what I'll do is I'll pop this one up. Right about here. And I'm going to add my little sprig. Right about here. And then I'm going to take this daisy and I'm actually going to adhere it. So I'm going to tuck it under and adhere it to the front. All right. So, okay. You love blue. Depends on the type of card. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, check it out. This was my newsletter card. Blue. And then my Thursday night cards, I did blue. I did this one and this one. And then this cute little round gift box. So those are Thursday's cards. So like I said, I did everything in blue this week. Even my Fun Fold Friday is going to be blue. All right, so here is my piece that's going to go right here. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the outside because I don't want to see it. Make sure it's on here straight without me smudging. All right. And then I have to think about this piece here. So I think what I'll do is we'll grab those little flowers again and I will add these flowers to the inside. It's so dark though. Let me grab my spoon again. And I'm just going to pull some of that ink down so it's not so juicy. And then this way, when I ink it up and stamp it, it's not so dark. And I'm going to put, the light is glaring. I'll put some in that corner. And I'll come down and I'll put some in this corner. And then this piece is going to go right in here. So I'm going to grab my seal. And I'm going to use the designer series paper as my guide so I can keep it pretty straight. Okay. So here is, hey Ruth. Thank you. Aw, they are pretty, aren't they? So here's the inside. And then we can take our band and slip it onto our card. Just like that. And then if you want to decorate it, I have some iridescent rhinestones here. Let me see where the, oh, I have it opened already. All right, I can't open it. There we go. So I'll just grab some iridescent rhinestones. And then we'll just stick one right in there. Okay. So there you go. That is our mystery card. Now, we could have put on a strip, and you know what? Let's do that. I'm going to add, I think I said to add a strip of designer series paper. We could have done this before we put it together, but it's still okay right now. So we're just going to lay this down. I'll probably have to cut it. Just decorate that band just a little bit. So I'm going to cut this right about there. I'm going to first make sure that it will tuck under, which it will. So I want to make sure it has enough room. Now this, like I said, this was the 1 1/8 by 10. So you may want to add this to the band beforehand. Oh, Iggy's at the door. All right, there we go. And then we can take this and slide it on our card. And there we go. Something just a little bit, did you hear Iggy do? Just a little different, right? Just very pretty, very easy. Got some stamping, very simple. You're welcome, Karen. So I hope you like tonight's card. Again, create this card, place it in our group. The more the merrier. And I will pick a random winner. I have mail going out for everybody this week. So thanks for joining me. Have a great night. Thanks, Margaret. And I will see you on Thursday. Bye-bye.